So do women have rules like with sweaters and stuff? Like, is there a time you can wear a sweater?
Yeah, you start wearing sweaters when it gets cold.
That's it. That's
That
the
is
only
it.
rule.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys wear them too, but I don't know. I think a lot of younger guys don't like wearing sweaters because they make you 10 years older the minute you put one on.
Agreed. They do make guys look 10 years older.
Yeah.
For women, they're really cute.
They are little snow bunnies.
Uh-huh. For guys, not so much.
No, for guys, not so much because you think.
Unless you look like David Beckham in a sweater. He can wear a sweater. So can Tom Brady.
Oh, calm down, Tiger.
I've seen David Beckham in a sweater. He looks good.
Okay, great. Anyway, back to my subject. Good for David Beckham. But that does, actually, that makes me think. Like a lot of guys think that they can put on a sweater and it will hide their bellies a little bit. It exaggerates it. It exaggerates your belly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have to be careful.
You think you're like covered, but you're not.
Has to be a big sweater. Like you should get a big boxy sweater if you want to cover a belly.
Yeah, but then you look really fat.
Oh, you kind of look like you have a big sweater on.
You kind of look like a fat guy in a big sweater. That's what you kind of look like. Does this sweater make me look fat? Yeah, as a matter of fact, it does.
I swear to God, you guys are in my head. I had the same exact conversation with my wife.
You did?
About yesterday about a vest.
Yeah.
Because fat guys, we can't do vests.
You got to wear the sport jacket.
Yes. Oh my God. That's why I'm
You got to wear
smiling.
the sport
I'm
jacket. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay. All
Especially
right.
after a certain age. You get a sweater. I don't know, man. You could pull off a sweater if you're skinny and in high school or whatever, but
I've got man boobs too, so you can't rock the sweater either.
Oh no, this
now you
is
got
all
me all
bad.
self-conscious. I'm going to do the rest of the podcast like this.
It's all bad. No sweaters for you this winter.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's just get out of this topic. I'm suddenly insecure. We are doing the Christmas episode for Skip Town All Stars. Ho, ho, ho.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey listeners, ever wonder what it would be like to blow up your comfort zone at the tender age of 50? Well, we did just that. When our last kid went off to college, we hit the road in search of a new hometown. Now we bounce from city to city and bring you along for the ride. This is the Skip Town All-Stars podcast.
What's up, All Stars? Welcome back to another episode, a very special Christmas episode, courtesy of Skip Town All Stars. We appreciate all of your support, as always, especially throughout the year. If you could, why don't you put a little something in our stocking and subscribe to our channel, like what I did there?
I loved what you did there, yeah.
And make sure you're liking us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're finding your streaming content. Every little like, every little appreciation, interaction. We definitely try and comment back
We do.
on every comment.
I think we're both pretty responsive. Did you know you can leave reviews on Apple Podcasts and you can leave ratings on Spotify? So if you're listening to us and want to drop a little review about your experience on Apple Podcasts, please do. It actually helps the algorithm. Although Apple Podcasts says it doesn't, it really does. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then just be nice to subscribe to us. So thank you.
That's right. And drop us a line. We always comment back. Merry Christmas,
We do.
everyone. Let's get to the Christmas episode. What do you got?
Oh, I've got a lot.
Well,
Okay.
we should introduce Phil first, I
Oh,
suppose.
100%, because he's going to be part of this today.
Merry Christmas to our podcast producer, Phil Bird. How are you this holiday season?
Ho, 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 I'm jolly and gay.
Did you say I'm jolly and gay?
Yeah, you say that for the
do.
holidays?
You're allowed to say gay in December.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, but it's
I mean, you could say it anytime.
you're not around a millennial.
Let me just, take all that back.
Not around oh my gosh, you say gay around our
Well, you
kids.
can
and
say gay.
They will cut your knees off.
You just can't call someone
But
gay.
I mean it as happy.
I know,
Yes.
I know.
That's the holiday spirit. Isn't there a Christmas song they say gay?
Oh,
in
there's
it?
a bunch of Christmas songs that say gay. Yeah.
As in happy.
Yeah.
There are a
you
bunch
just-
of gay Christmas songs. Is that what you're saying?
They're that too.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. My gay friends will be so happy to hear that.
We'll send it to them.
They probably know already.
They probably do.
Okay. Anyway, Merry Christmas, even if you're gay.
We're so happy you're here with us today. We are going to talk about some fun Christmas stories. We're going to have Phil share his Christmas stories with us.
Nice.
I have some good little tips on fun facts and not tips, but fun facts about Santas and, how much Santas get paid in the mall. I bet you guys have no idea how much a Santa gets paid per hour in the mall, like the mall Santa.
$9.
Phil?
Oh wait, we doing this now? We doing this right
We're just
now?
launching into questionnaires right out of the gate.
Well, I figured I'm talking about it. I just want to know. Do you guys have any idea? So you say $9.
Mall Santas get paid pretty well. They get like $35 an hour.
Oh, okay. He was really low. You were very high. They're $22 an hour.
22 an hour.
Yes, you know
that's
that-
the average nationwide.
That is. And you know the whole Bad Santa movie where Billy Bob Thornton was drunk all the time?
Yeah.
He could afford to be because he was making $22 an hour. In a 12-hour day, that's like $260 you're making.
You got to sit with kids for 12 hours a day. I'm a parent and I've never done that.
I know. I did read one stat about it saying a 12-hour day will equal $260. I'm like, there's no way they're sitting with kids. They're breaking that up. Like, you know, they're doing
yeah.
probably like 6-hour shifts, right?
Yeah,
like
they
6 hours.
They need a little weed break.
Oh my
And weed and
God.
whiskey.
That's right.
Santa's smoking weed and drinking whiskey in the mall bathroom.
I'd be acting like Billy Bob Thornton too if I had to spend that much time around 100 kids all day.
There are a lot of bad Santas out there, and I have some good stories to prove it, but we won't get into that right now.
Okay, got it.
So today, I thought it would be really fun if we all shared some stories of Christmases past.
Christmas past, the ghosts of Christmas past.
Is it Christmases or Christmas?
Christmases.
Christmases past, yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we start? We can start with you.
Me.
And then we'll go to Phil, and then I can share my story. Okay, let's start with I guess the best way to start is, what's your favorite Christmas memory?
My favorite Christmas memory.
Yeah, or your best. Best is the same as favorite.
Well, my easiest one is the year that I proposed to you.
Oh my God.
Stop it. You are being...
You didn't pick that one out
I
for
did.
me.
You
did?
I cannot believe you picked that out. Okay, that's
Well, yeah.
why are you picking this? You're just showing off right now.
That's
You're
an
just
easy
showing
one.
off right now. Okay,
That's
see,
an
that
easy
is
one.
so not your favorite Christmas. You're silly.
That's an easy
Oh,
one.
whatever.
But beyond that, if we're talking like childhood Christmases or
general.
something, so there was a Christmas where my dad and I had been in odds for a very long time, like 2 or 3 years. Like, without going into all the grimy stuff, I was, a very stubborn teenager. He was a very stubborn grown man. And there was a period of time where we didn't talk. And there was one particular Christmas when I was in college. I think it was maybe a sophomore. And my father and I hadn't really spoken for like a year or two, maybe
Ooh.
2 years at that point.
Yeah, it's a long time not to speak with a
Yeah,
parent.
like it happened. We had a falling out in the middle of my senior year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So he missed a lot, and I missed him missing a lot. My graduation, for example, and
Oh, wow.
it was like that. It was that kind of falling out, and I dated someone in college who was very close to her family, and was just always sort of, you got to make an effort, you got to do something, you can't go on the rest of your life like this or what have you. And one Christmas, I showed up at my grandma Gordon's house, and I know she totally planned it this way, but my dad was still there, and it was weird. It was a look. I still get choked up to this day
Aw.
talking about it. It was just a moment, and it was like whatever was irritating both of us, hurting both of us about each other,
Yeah.
was gone in an instant. And he hugged me and he told me he loved me. And hang on 1 second. And so, and meanwhile, Grandma Gordon was like, "Hey, I made devil eggs,
Hey.
hey, I made devil egg. Who wants some hot toddy, And so it was really funny. And I think out of all the gifts that I've ever received on Christmas, it was sort of reconciling with my father. That was like, I mean,
I
we grew
think-
up poor, so I had some really crappy Christmases as a kid. So I can't really go into like there was one.
No, we're not talking about bad Christmases
Not that yet.
Not yet.
I know, but there was one Christmas where I received like Hot Wheels tracks and all kinds of toys. That was my number one up until
Your dad.
Yeah.
I have to say, you're so lucky you had that college girlfriend, because if we had dated in college, you know how I would have been.
Well, you wouldn't have dated me in college.
Well, I know.
And I wouldn't have liked
this is
you
not
anyway.
about you. This is not. I know. This is not. It's true. You would not have. But I'm like, hey, your parent, you not getting along with your dad. There's no reason to talk to him. Like, I have
no.
such a different mindset about
Yeah.
like family. I'm like, if they're not being nice to you, doesn't matter. You're related to them. I never would have gotten you back together with your
I
parents.
know
is
you
what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
have. And Phil, one thing you should know about Denise, and I know this isn't very much in the Christmas spirit, but her nickname back in LA was Scorched Earth.
Whoa, that's her wrestling name.
Yeah, it is a wrestling name. Like people would be like, "Oh God, here comes Scorched Earth. I hope I'm not on the list this year."
It is true.
If people were on your naughty list, they were getting crossed out.
So that girlfriend, that's
Yeah.
a good girlfriend to have had during those years. So she facilitated your talking with your father.
Yeah, and you know what? She was right.
Yeah.
And
I would have been wrong.
You would have been wrong.
would have
Years
been
later,
wrong.
when he passed away, it was like the first memory I thought of.
Aw, that's
where it was
fantastic.
like I wouldn't have had, the whole span of. I mean, he was around for the birth of I think 2 out of 3 of our children, all 3 of our children, but I wouldn't have had that relationship with him
Yeah.
had it not been for that moment.
I'm more of the see you, don't want to be you.
Oh yeah. Well, I was definitely in that mindset back then. Now I'm a little more like, hey man, it's cool.
Well, I mean, look, we're older, so
Yeah.
it's completely different. I think it's also different when you have a family. Phil, you have a family, and when Christmas rolls around as an adult and you have kids, it's just everything is so different. I mean, the way you approach Christmas is different. How you experience that Christmas is different.
Yeah.
So to look back prior to having a family, prior to being married, prior to having kids, and really think about what you truly value as your favorite Christmas. That's actually so sweet. I gotta say,
It's
a good
for
one.
sure. And it makes you think, like think about all for me at least, like the women whose husbands went off and had kids outside of the marriage or whatever. And Christmas just seems to be a time where like even those women who have been scorned and humiliated, embarrassed or whatever, are fine with letting all the kids be together.
I know.
You know?
Isn't that crazy?
Christmas is nutty like that.
Yeah, it does bring people together.
It does.
What about you, Phil? Okay, so you have a son, you're married, but your favorite Christmas, I guess it could include your son and your wife, but do you have a Christmas that you think immediately comes to mind that you're like, oh, that was such a great Christmas?
Best Christmas ever.
So me as a child.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have me as a child and then me as an adult.
All right,
Oh, let's hear both.
Yeah, we got time.
All right, so
We're doing a podcast.
so me as a child, I was 7, right? And my birthday's in July, right? And this is a sad story turned good. My birthday was in July, and we scheduled to have a really, really huge party with all these other people. Like the house was all decked out. Not a single person came. Anyway, that was really,
And what?
really
Not a single person came to his birthday party.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
I was really sad, obviously.
7. Where
And
was
so-
everyone?
They were on vacation. My birthday's in the summer, and or something happened where they
Yeah.
they probably didn't even get the RSVPs. I don't know. I was a kid, so they didn't tell me. But anyway, I was very, very sad and depressed. So Christmas came around. I was never really like I need gifts stuff. So it was more like experiences and maybe give me a bike or something.
Yeah.
And so my parents actually had a Christmas party with all the kids. They came.
Oh,
No way.
That's awesome.
Oh my God,
Oh my
that's
God,
incredible.
how thoughtful. That's like
So that was super cool.
that
And
is.
as an adult, probably 2019, honestly, very recently, I was able to afford to actually give my family a nice Christmas.
That's
Aw,
awesome.
that's so good. And
You
it's
made it. Your ship came in.
Woo!
Good job, Phil.
it is crazy when you as an adult can provide for your family a good Christmas.
That's the
that
best.
makes everything. Like it really does.
It does. I remember there was one Christmas where I think at that point we had all 3 babies, and it was just, like we had gone out, we had celebrated with friends on Christmas Eve or whatever, and did all this. We finished the night, did all the Santa stuff. You were already like kind of wiped out at that point, tucked in bed, and I was like just doing the stockings, the last of the last, and sat there and had a little cocktail on my couch, and it was the best damn feeling in the world. It was
It is.
crazy.
Like when you can look around and say, I was able to do this. Like I worked this hard this year
Yeah.
to be able to provide this. It is.
Yep.
It's really incredible.
Yeah, and then
it
you
really
go to
is.
bed and
you're
you just-
grateful. You're like so
You are.
happy that you were able to do this.
You are. And then you go to bed and you pray those kids don't wake you up at 5:30 in the morning, which they did.
It's so true. It's so true.
Here's the meme that I love for.
Let me see it.
Hold on, this one.
Let me
come
see.
on.
Oh,
No.
Pinterest, you
There
guys.
you go.
Again. Every mom on
Always
Christmas,
make
you're
this
opening-
face. Every mom. Oh yes,
That's true. Look at that
is
look on her
so
face.
true. That is my mother. That was me. Oh yeah, that
Wait,
was
put it
your
back up
mom.
so I can read it for the kids.
Oh, it's so good.
Every mom on Christmas, while you're opening up the gift they swore they weren't getting you, and it's a little girl holding a coffee mug with a little smirk on her face. So cute.
It looks just like every mom that said, "You're not getting that. You're not getting that."
Yep.
And then on Christmas morning, they're like, "Got it."
Yep. Oh my God. Remember that year I had to go for the Barbie camper, drive all around
Oh,
LA?
it's terrible.
The Barbie camper.
Yeah, it was the gift. So if you are listening and you were in Gen X, then it was a Cabbage Patch doll.
Oh, man.
For Gen
That's a
Z or
throwback.
millennials, yeah, it was the Barbie camper. For
Yeah.
boys, I don't know what it would have been for boys.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
wouldn't
sure.
know.
But in the Barbie camper, they made 50 of them. Like they were impossible to find.
Yeah.
So we were on a mission, and you ended up getting one.
I
And
found one that somebody hid behind the artificial Christmas trees in Downey.
Did you have to fight
California.
Sinbad for this?
I didn't.
oh,
I,
that's a good one.
and I brought it back. I'll never forget. I brought it back. I didn't even want to keep it in the car in our parking garage at work. I brought it back I was working at America's Next Top Model at the time. And I came back in and everybody knew that it was like,
The coveted gift.
it was the holy grail for me. And when I walked in, like 5 people started
Did you
clapping.
hold it up?
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, I got it. And they were like, yes. It was like 5 grown men and women cheering over a Barbie camper.
Okay, I had been hearing like at that point because it was such a coveted, there were people fighting over it. Like
Yeah.
you'd read stories and like women at the store, like Walmart, hitting each other trying to grab this. Do you remember what I told you when you were on your way to get it? I said to you, if someone wants to fight you for it,
In
Kill
the
them.
parking lot.
give it to them.
Yeah.
I said, just give it to them. Do not fight anybody for this camper. Just give it to them.
Yeah, you did.
But James, you're bigger than most people, so you can knock a person out.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty easy. Like,
Well, and not only that, but if you know Downey, California, like I'm a standout there. So, I just think anybody who saw me crossing the parking lot with that thing under my arm just thought to themselves, that guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, coming here.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him that he's here? He's not in the right neighborhood. So, but it was good. Yeah, we managed. So why don't you tell us your favorite Christmas?
Well, you took it from me. My favorite Christmas was getting engaged. It was Christmas 1998.
When you were a young girl, did you ever imagine one Christmas morning you would be getting all this?
No, honey. No, actually, I did not. I did not. So it was really a surprise, truly. You had not even met my parents. It is
I had
so
not.
insane. It is
I went
so
in baller.
insane.
I went in baller, Phil.
what? You didn't ask?
I did ask,
He had never met them, and he had to call them
but I
and
had to ask
ask.
over the phone. Yeah,
What?
Isn't that okay?
I know.
Here's a little backstory. Every guy I ever dated prior to James, well, there was one that wasn't
The bar was low. Go
that
on.
wasn't a loser. There was one that wasn't a loser. All the other ones didn't have cars, worked at bars, were artists. So when I met James, my parents were just truly thrilled that he had a car. And then when I told them he had a college degree, they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's over. Whatever happens, hopefully this is the man."
Give him 12 cows and 3 chickens.
Yeah, he has a college degree. Like they were just like, I'll never forget when I called my mom and I told her you had a car, and she says to my dad, and she puts the phone, this is when they held up the phone with the wire, and she says, "He's got a car." And then I go,
Tom, he's got a car.
and then I said, "Wait, Mom, wait, even better. He went to college." She goes, "Tom, he went to college."
And he told her I had a car, and that was the icing right
I
there.
never dated a guy. I dated one guy who had a car. One guy. And I was 28 at that point. Every guy they were all like
This
up
is-
and coming.
They were all they're all balling on a budget. Hey, so Phil, here was the car that like iced the deal for me. I had a Jetta. I swear to God, this thing ran on 3 tires and the corner window was punched out on it.
Oh, the
it was,
square
it was,
Jetta.
It was such a beater. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's all it took to get Denise's hand in marriage.
So all to go back to the fact that they said yes to him without meeting him was because they had heard he had done so well for himself. He had a car and went to college.
Yeah.
So when he called them to propose, or what did you do? What exactly did you call?
I just called to say, okay, so
How do you do this when you haven't met the parent?
So there was a little, like, I had actually borrowed money from your dad. And so at one point in our relationship, so he already kind of knew me. And so it's kind of a weird story, but I needed a laptop to start one of my first production jobs. And Denise called and just basically asked her mom for the money. And so her dad.
Well, it was $500, and that was a lot back then.
It was a lot of money
for a
little used Mac laptop.
Yeah, I think John Corser got over on you.
I think he did. He got it. Yeah, John's the guy that sold me the thing. He definitely made some money off that. Anyway, long story short, her dad kind of knew of me at that point because I was already freeloading off of him. And
I just remember my mom saying, "Are you sure? You kind of just met him." And I'm like, "No, Mom, it's fine." I said, "He's going to make so much money as a PA or a production
as a
assistant.
coordinator.
Yeah, as a production coordinator. He makes like $200 a day, Mom. He'll have this paid in like 3 days."
Yeah.
So, and she was like, "Okay." So she wrote the check. And
I know, so sweet. So their parents were always so giving. But no, I called him up. Look, your parents, everybody who's listening to the show knows your mom had you when she was 45.
Yeah.
Your dad was pushing 50 at that
50.
point.
He was 50.
He was 50. So we're talking about, people from the greatest generation outlasted the what was that famine called that the country went through?
The Depression?
The Depression, yeah. The word escaped me for a moment. Sorry. And
you got to think about
and then
it.
your dad was in World War II, hard-boiled Chicago detective. All of a sudden, I knew your dad was like old school, and I had to come correct. So whether I could do it in person or not, I had to at least ask before I just jumped into his house for the first time, met him, interrupted his Fox News and said, "Hey, I'm James, and by the way, I'm going to propose to your daughter in 2 days for Christmas Eve." Or it was Christmas Day. Yeah.
So you called ahead of time, and how did that go? It had to be so awkward for you. I can't even believe you did that.
It was. I felt like I was smooth at the time, but looking back on it, I was super clunky. And he just said, "James," I mean, he had so many kids at that point, and you were like the baby, and he was just like, "Fine, whatever you kids want to do it." Looking back, he wasn't like that to me at all. But looking back on it, I knowing him, that had to have been his attitude where he's like, "Yeah, sure. It sounds good. Thank you for calling me. I appreciate it. Yeah, that sounds good." That's what he said. "That sounds good. I want to marry your daughter." "Okay, that sounds good."
Oh my gosh.
That was it.
Yeah. Bye. See ya.
Yeah. It was like, "I look forward to meeting you." And that was wrap. So
yeah, and then we got engaged on Christmas morning, and you did the whole down on one knee. It was
that was awkward.
It was so
because your
cute.
brother.
Oh.
I mean, now it's,
I know.
Now I'm close to your brother and sister-in-law, but at the time I had just met them as well.
Poor thing.
I know.
You poor thing. Oh,
yeah.
Everyone in the family, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, the only one in the family really that gave you a hard time, I was going to say everyone in the family, but no, really the only one in the family that gave you a hard time was my niece.
Yeah.
She was super sassy with you.
She was.
But the other,
she's like, "Oh, making yourself just at home, aren't you?"
Yeah. And she lived there.
Yeah.
She lived there. Didn't even have a place
she was
to
sponging
stay.
off of them.
Yeah. And she was mad at you.
I know.
She was projecting.
She was projecting. She was. She had a baby and everything.
She was
shacking up with the grandparents.
Yeah, living with my parents, with her baby, and she was getting sassy with him.
She didn't like me because I was a threat.
What were you going to take her bedroom?
Yeah, that's what she was afraid of, I think. She's afraid. She already had to go sleep somewhere else, didn't she?
Oh, I think she did have to.
Yeah, because we took that one bedroom. Anyway, irrelevant.
Yeah. So anyway, but my brothers I thought were pretty nice to you. I mean,
they absolutely were.
I don't know from your perspective. It could have been different.
No, everybody was nice. Yeah, for sure. No alarm bells went off or anything like that. The only alarm bells that I ever had were with you dumping me all the time, but that's not really a Christmas story. So
we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
I obviously said yes, and I stuck to it.
You did. I appreciate you honoring your word.
Yeah, it was a great Christmas. I did not see it coming. You were, speaking of Christmases, you are very good at giving gifts.
Am I?
Phil, James is the best gift giver. Even though you think half the time he's not listening, he is sizing you up and really honing in on who you are as a person. And when it comes to Christmas, he gets you that gift. It's incredible. And our daughter Parker, the oldest, is
she's a great
just
gift
like him.
She's
The other two, no.
Man, that's a legendary trait. as a man, because we're notorious for not paying attention.
we're notorious.
That's his superpower.
I did have one bad Christmas where I bought you a bunch of stuff from Forever 21, and you were like, "No, dude, like
It's okay. You didn't have any money.
Of this,
That was
I didn't
fine.
have any money. That
No,
Christmas,
and he just wanted it stacked up. So he literally had $100, and each shirt there is 10. So he had 10.
10 boxes.
Yep,
10
and it
boxes.
was amazing. I walked out.
Those were during the lean years.
Yeah, we had just had our first daughter. So I appreciated him. I took everything back, took the $100 and bought
did.
one pair of pants, but it was all good. It was all good.
did.
I appreciated what he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a great gift giver.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's talk about then. We talked about our best Christmas ever. Why don't we get into our worst Christmas ever? You want to do that?
Sure, we'll start with Phil.
So remember when you said earlier that there are some families back in the day where the man had a secret family,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and all the kids would just kind of hang out. Well, not that extreme, but my dad was a horrible husband to my mom. Right, I'll admit that. Right, he was a good dad, but he was a horrible husband to my mom. Right, he had a secret girlfriend.
Oh.
Mom didn't know about it, obviously, and his secret girlfriend didn't know he was married with 2 kids.
Oh.
She burned down her house.
You wait.
It was on the news. Yeah, she burned her house
That
down.
stops the show right there. Oh my
On
gosh.
Christmas Day?
It was around Christmas time. Yeah, it was right around Christmas.
Did
time.
your mom let your dad go and back to have her, to go to her? Was your mom like, you can have her? She just burned her house
This
down.
was a different time where, I mean, depending on, you know what I mean? So where was my mom going to go, you know? So
Plus, why would he want to go back to a woman who just burned down the house
so
with his kid, where his kids live?
yeah,
She's
so
in love with
she
him.
burned the house down. And
Wow.
So I don't have any baby pictures or any of that stuff.
Were you
Oh
guys
my
in the
gosh.
house?
No, we were gone. We were
Oh,
all
I'm
gone.
so sorry.
Yeah, so that was,
Well, how old were you?
I was very, very young. I was maybe 5.
When did you realize the girlfriend burned the house down and it wasn't an accident?
My mom told me when I was still a kid. So
Oh, she did tell you early.
yeah.
Oh.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Did she go to jail?
I have no idea. I don't know, but it was in the news. My mom showed me the paper clippings and all that stuff.
Holy cow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that takes the cake on all my stories. Because
I
I
know.
have crazy Santa stories
I
and
was gonna
Christmas
say.
stories. That takes the cake.
I was going to say, we should have finished with Phil.
You can cut it.
We just blew the grand finale. Holy
My
cow,
bad
dude.
Christmas is nothing. Nothing compared to that.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I was such a small child. It's not like it was anything impactful
Phil,
to me. You know,
did
what I
he
mean?
break up with her?
I have no idea.
Holy
I have no
cow.
idea.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad was a Rolling Stone. I don't think he had any kids anywhere else, but he was not a good husband.
But
to
it
my
wouldn't
mom.
shock you.
But
Yeah.
it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
I do have a doppelganger that is in Canada. I'll show you. I'll bring his picture up.
Oh.
We look exactly alike.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. You might have a
Was your dad
brother.
was your dad a traveling salesman in Canada?
Who knows? Who knows?
I've always said, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we have someone show up on our doorstep
Who?
with you.
Me?
Not like you have a second family, but
Well, I
like,
don't
you
have
know,
a second family.
people just weren't careful. Okay.
No answer to that.
But the second
No
family,
answer yet.
The second family isn't a shock anymore. You know?
No,
Like,
I mean, a
met-
lot of people don't even get married in the first place, so
my
that seems to
mom's-
be more the trend.
my mom's hospice nurse, she was married and has 3 kids with her husband, and just told me the other day that she showed me a picture of her exes. Now she just now is getting a divorce because he's got like a 6-year-old. But she takes her on as her own. She takes her on as her own. And I said, why do you do that? She's like, because she's like, the girlfriend he got isn't great and she needs a good mom. I'm like, that's not, And I
Wow.
was like, wow. And
Women are built different.
she's like, oh, I give her the best life. She's
Yeah.
like, she goes, it's my kids half.
Half
Okay.
sister.
How about this one? Now we're going off topic. Russell Wilson. So, am I going to
Future.
say her name right? Sierra.
Sierra.
Okay. You know what he did for his kids.
He
right?
adopted him.
Well, not just that, but who's her ex, the
Future.
rapper?
Future.
Yes. So he put how many kids does Future have?
12.
He put a trust fund aside for, I think, 3 of Future's
Future
kids.
has 12 kids.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
I didn't
but
know- I knew it
there's
was a
like
lot. I
3
didn't
of
know it was
them.
that
I don't
many.
know why it's these 3. I'm not sure what it is. I think it has to do with whoever Sierra, her kid was close with. he set up on a trust fund, a college fund for 3 of those kids. Or look at like Travis Barker. That daughter that he has, the oldest one, Atiana, I believe her name is, who's the boxer? The Mexican boxer? The really famous one?
Canelo?
No, older.
Chavez.
I don't know.
Like 50s. He's like a big famous boxer, you guys. He dated like Playboy Playmates and stuff like that.
You're not talking about
I
Oscar
don't
De
know.
La Hoya.
Yes, it's Oscar De
De
La
La
Hoya.
Hoya.
So Travis's first wife had a baby with Oscar De La Hoya. They never married.
Oh, yeah, I
She
know
had
the
a baby. Travis Barker, that's his daughter. Shannon left Travis. Travis took on Atiana. But when Shannon left, I read his book, so I know. But everybody kind of knows the story anyway. When Shannon left Travis, Atiana said to Travis, "Where am I going to go?" And he said, and she was like 9, and he's known her since she was a baby. He met Shannon when she was 1, and he said, "I'm going to take care of you." And because she didn't have a dad, and the mom literally skipped town on all of Travis's kids, 2 kids and her own. And that girl's like 25 years old and still like, if you
But she's
watch,
Oscar De La Hoya's kid?
he doesn't take care of her. Somebody actually, like TMZ, did one of those interviews when he was walking out of airport. It was like, "Hey, how do you feel about Travis taking care of your kid?"
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
And so if you
I didn't
even
know all
look at the
this.
Kardashians, if you look at the Kardashians, Travis is on the show all the time because he's
Right.
with Kourtney. Atiana's always on the show. Like when they were looking at a house, I was watching the episode where Travis said to Kourtney, "I need to make sure this room is good for Atiana." Like it gets chills. Like it's not even his daughter.
That's very nice.
And so when TMZ was like, "Oh, how do you like Travis raising your daughter?" He's like, "He's doing a good job." Like, because what could he say? He's never paid child support.
Right.
Travis sent her to all the best schools with his own kids. I mean, so I don't know. I don't think it's just a woman thing.
Man, we're getting a little off topic here, but that's why a lot of guys don't want relationships with women with children.
Why? Because they have to take care of their kids.
No, not that. It's because when they break up,
Oh.
you get attached to the child. The woman
Yes.
can leave. That's not your kid. So the
Yeah.
woman can leave and take the child. You never see that kid again. Then
Yes,
you're already being dad to that kid.
That is really true.
And
That's
then
right.
now it is ripped from you. So with Travis Barker, he obviously had a relationship with Atiana.
Yeah.
That's his kid.
When you read the book, I started crying because when she said to him, it was so touching the way he wrote it too, was like, she said, "Where am I going to go? My mom just left." He's like, "Oh, you're living with me." And this was like, her siblings were little, like his 2 kids at that point, which are her half siblings, they were like 3 and 4, and she was like 8 at the time. And he said when Shannon left, he's like, "I had to call my sister and she had to show me how to braid like Alabama's hair and Atiana's hair." Because he had a nanny. We were out one time. Oh, you weren't with me. Sorry, LA story. We were at Benihana. He had all the kids with him and a nanny. But it was like when it was time to like the kids to go to the bathroom, he was the one taking like land into the bathroom. It wasn't the nanny. You know what I mean? It's like everyone knows he's a very hands-on dad.
Yeah.
So the fact that he kept someone else's kid and raised her as his own, like, there's just like a special person, So if women do it, it is a special person. There is no question about it.
Yeah, because the kids are innocent.
Yeah, you're right. The kids are innocent. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's enough of a buffer between Phil's catastrophic story
I know.
and yours. So why don't you tell us what's your worst Christmas?
Well, my worst Christmas isn't as bad as Phil's. My house was still standing, but I did almost kill a kid.
What? Wait. So,
Like one of your kids or just a kid?
My best friend's kid.
Oh my God. Okay.
One
How?
of my best friend's kids. It was a snowmobile accident.
oh God, you did not almost kill Harry. I thought this was like something that happened when you
No.
were young that I never knew about.
Seriously.
You didn't almost kill Harry.
Did the snowmobile not
Did
fly
it-
up in the air
it did-
across a parking lot and we landed on our backs on a cement?
It did do a full
Did it
it did a full rotation in the air.
Did it not go off a snow embankment?
It did. Yeah.
Could that have landed on us and killed us?
Yes, but instead it slid to a screeching stop in an empty parking space. It didn't even hit a car.
But it was so traumatic. I cried. My whole Christmas was ruined. So what had happened is we went on a snowmobile ski adventure with our family, and we took our family friend's son with us, Harry.
Yeah. And I mean, Harry's Jewish, so I always have to insert that because it just sounds like we stole some kid for the holidays away from his family.
Yeah,
so.
Harry's Jewish. He had already celebrated Hanukkah. He just wanted to go snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he went with us.
It was a very good thing.
Yeah, he went with us to the mountains in McCall, Idaho. So we rented for the day snowmobiles, and the story is very short. We spent all day on the snowmobiles. It was getting cold and icy, and there was a snow embankment that we were on that was probably 7 feet high, and down below was a parking lot. And at one point, I knew I would not be able to make the embankment. Like I had to ride along the top edge of it to get back to return our snowmobiles. And I told our tour guide, I cannot do this. I've been on the snowmobile all day. I'm tired. You have to maneuver it. He didn't believe me. And so,
until he did.
And so what happened is I'm on the edge of the embankment and the snowmobile starts to veer to the right, which is going off the embankment. I'm trying to lean to the left. It's not happening. It's going off the embankment. I see it happening. And all I remember, honestly, is it's in the air and I push the machine away. I just pushed it with my legs away from me because I'm like, this is going to kill us. This will legitimately kill us. And then all I remember is falling on the ground. And then I was laying on my
it's terrible.
back.
I laugh at this, but it's such a great story.
I was laying on my back and I just said, Harry, because he was on the back with me. He was on the back of my snowmobile. And I said, Harry. And he goes, yeah. And I go, are you okay? And he goes, I'm fine. And then I go, and then the tour guide runs over to us, literally running with his snowsuit on. And he leans over, he goes, are you okay? Are you okay? And I go, yeah. And he goes, you parked it.
Yep.
And I sit up. And the snowmobile is across the parking lot in a parking spot.
Yeah.
The only empty parking spot in the entire parking lot. So if you don't believe in God, I am telling you right now, there was divine intervention because that snowmobile could have killed us. It would have, from my understanding, I didn't see it. It did a flip in the air and it could have landed right on us, but it didn't.
It didn't do a flip end over end. It rotated.
Yes. It like
air.
a football. Like it rotated
exactly.
like a football.
Spiraled.
And it could have landed on us and it didn't. And when it hit the ground, it kept going. I guess it looked like a rocket and it shot across the parking lot and it didn't hit a car.
Yeah.
It was still moving.
It was definitely something out of a Rodney Dangerfield movie.
You just dated yourself.
I know. But it's the only thing I think of right now. It was just like the
or
thinking.
like Jackass. Something out of a Jackass movie.
Yeah. I had my back to you when it was happening. I was talking, we were all like high-fiving, oh, that was a great day and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden I saw one of our children's faces through her visor. Like I saw her eyeballs get as big as saucers. And then I heard this like grating sound and I turn around and there's your snowmobile. The blades are grating across the asphalt into the spot. Yeah. It was awesome.
It was the worst Christmas ever. I cried the entire Christmas and I had to call my friend and tell her I almost killed her son, which is the truth.
He laughs about it.
I was in the bathroom. So I went in the bathroom because I had to cry because I just had to get it out. And I walk into the girls' bathroom of this big ski lodge.
Ski resort, yeah.
Ski resort. And it's packed with people. So I thought, okay, I can go in the bathroom and cry. Well, I start crying, but then what slowly started happening is that people, here's how I'm picturing it in my head. They're in their stall going, is someone crying? So then everyone just stopped talking and you could hear a pin drop and me going, that was it in the entire bathroom. It was awful. I cried all the way home. It was so traumatic. I will never, ever get on a snowmobile.
You were pretty traumatized. Harry's fine. Harry was like, he laughs about it. He's like, oh my gosh, it was so crazy. That's it.
Do you know if that landed on us?
Like a typical teenager.
If that snowmobile had landed, we would have died.
But it didn't. So it's not the worst Christmas ever.
That is legitimately my worst Christmas ever.
Okay, well, you've had some pretty good Christmases then.
I almost killed somebody. I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, God. Phil's house burned down. I almost killed somebody.
You did not almost kill somebody.
You better have a good one.
I don't. Mine pales in comparison to both of those.
What is your worst Christmas?
Okay, so earlier in the episode, we mentioned the college girlfriend that helped me reconcile with my dad. Her name's Maria. She is a person. She's a lovely woman to this day. And living in Ohio, living her best life and everything, and was, in many respects, a great girlfriend. So I shouldn't say in many respects. In many respects, was a great girlfriend.
Many.
How
great? Many.
I don't know.
Now you have three
It's like,
minis?
she was so great a girlfriend. I shouldn't be friends with her on Facebook because Denise is like, that's weird.
That is weird.
So,
Yeah.
Bro,
And
that's
now-
weird.
Oh, thank you, Phil. And it's many. Now it's like 4 manys. Okay.
she's a lovely girl. And so
We should reconnect then.
but
Let's get her on the podcast.
Why? I can barely handle you, and I don't want my house burnt down. So
I would be the burning down.
you are the burner downer.
Scorched earth.
She is scorched earth. Anyway, so because she was such a great girlfriend,
Enough.
this
This podcast is going to end right here if you continue.
She put it. She
Merry
put
Christmas,
it-
y'all.
She was nice to me.
She's got one over on me.
She does have one over on you. So anyway, she put it in my ear that she wanted a little doggy for, Christmas, or she just wanted a little doggy in general. Maybe it wasn't specifically for Christmas, but she loved a particular kind of dog. It was a Bichon Frise, I think. Is that how you say it?
Okay.
Bichon. A little poodle, white poodle type looking
That's a designer
doggy.
dog.
It was, and especially back in the day, it was like I was a college kid, and so had to save up my Red Lobster money to be able to buy this little doggy, right? And so I go out, and the breeder actually lived not far from where I grew up, so a half hour away or what have you from where we were going to college. And it's winter, like it's the Ohio winter that you thought you were always getting as a kid that you really don't get anymore because the climate's changed a little bit.
No, not a little bit. We have had climate change.
No, I'm saying there specifically.
okay.
This is my story.
Go
You're
ahead.
just going to park it for a second.
How long are you
right?
going to talk about her? Just let's
Okay.
go to the story, please.
I was already into the dog breeder. So I drive out there. I pay however much I'm paying for this dog. It was expensive. I remember it was like $300
It had
or
to be.
something like,
Bichons
something
are
like
very
that.
costly.
I bet it would be like $1,000 today. Right?
Absolutely.
And so I buy this little dog. It's a little boy dog. And he's cute. I mean, he's like yay big. I mean,
Was he white?
Fits in
'Cause
both.
most
Yeah,
Bichons are
fluffy white, white, little black eyes, cutest little thing, right? Puppy, like just off mom's boob, right? And so I had to work boob into the Christmas conversation.
I see that.
And so I put the doggy in the car, and on the way home, I realized, I've got to stop and get gas. Well, I don't know how, my coat, something, it was like the old school locks where you actually push the button down.
Yeah.
Something happened. And when I went in to pay or get a soda or whatever I was doing, I went inside and the car was locked when I came back to it.
The
and
doggy
the little
did it.
doggy's
She
like,
put her little paw in there.
and he's
Put
like
his little
sitting
paw.
it's freezing. It must have been,
The doggy locked
it
you
must
out.
have been 20 degrees at most, right? And the dog is locked in the car, and it's starting to get cold. And I'm trying to figure out, like, who do I know that has the other key? It's all the way in Youngstown. It's so far away. I can't get. And so no cell phones back then, no nothing. This is how old we are. And I'm standing there, and finally I have to go back into the gas station because this doggy's starting to get cold, right? And I'm just like,
You're going to kill the dog.
and now not only is Christmas going to be ruined, but the dog's going to be dead. And so I'm like, this little doggy's going to freeze to death. So I go back in. I say to the attendant, hey, I need a little help.
Do you have a coat hanger?
Yeah, something, anything. And he's like, no. He goes, but I'll call the cops for you. And, maybe they can, this is back when the cops would open up your car. I don't think they do that anymore, do they?
I don't even
No, they don't do that.
They do not do that, right? And so
Everyone in Chicago carried a Slim Jim. So
yeah.
it's
So the
like,
cop comes out. It's like a local small town cop. He comes out with the Slim Jim, and it's getting cold. Like the sun is setting. It's like 10 degrees now.
Yeah.
Wind, all that other stuff. And he's chipping away at this thing. Like he's trying to like unlock the thing and sliding the Slim Jim down on the window for maybe, at this point, like 20 minutes,
Holy
half hour,
cow.
something like that. Like he let me take it for a while because each of our hands were cold.
Okay.
And so we kept switching off and trying to catch a lock, and just could not catch the lock on this thing. And I don't know. We decided we're going to give it one more try, and then I'm going to call my college roommate again and see if he can bring my spare key out to me or whatever on Christmas Eve. And the cop is like, okay, I just want to try one more thing. And he goes to try one more thing, and the window shatters. And sure, it's awesome. We can get back in. I can get back in my car, but I have no window, and I have this little doggy, and
it's 20
it's
degrees.
like 10, 15 degrees out at this point. It's dark at this point. I have no window, so I have to climb in my car. I'm blasting my heater for like 40 miles to get back into the city with freezing cold air coming into the car.
Where was the doggy?
And I have this little doggy tucked inside my coat. It was nuts.
Okay, so when you got there, was she excited about the dog?
She was very excited about the dog. And I didn't tell her, I don't think, right away about, how this was now all of a sudden a $500 dog instead of a $200 or $300 dog. She didn't care. She was so happy to see it. She named it French Fry.
Oh,
that was the doggy's name.
Oh,
French. Makes sense, I guess.
Oh, I get
French
it now.
fry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It took me a minute.
Yeah.
I get it now. She's clever, that Maria.
Here you go.
Scorched earth.
You be nice. She was a very, very good girlfriend.
Oh,
anyway.
two berries. Okay.
Anyway, so that was by far my worst Christmas ever. I showed up to Christmas Eve, and she was Italian, Night of the Seven Fishes or whatever they call it. And I show up with frostbite and half of my face blistered from the sun or from the wind chill. Yeah, from the cold.
So did you have to go to her house? I'm curious now. I have many questions.
Straight to her house.
Right. But when you get there, did you get the garbage bag to like put it on your door? Because it's going to snow.
I ended up putting plastic over it. Yeah. Something like that.
You're at her house. She's with French fry, and you're putting plastic on your window.
She got French fry. Merry Christmas, and then, but she, like I said, she was Italian, so it wasn't just me putting plastic on the car. It was me putting a plastic on the car while 750 relatives showed up for Christmas Eve dinner. So
Do you remember what she got you?
I was
Christmas?
definitely the redneck in that relationship for sure, without a doubt.
Do you remember what she got you that Christmas?
I don't.
Okay.
I actually don't. No. It didn't matter because I needed a new window at that point. So
she should have got you a window.
She should have bought the window. Yeah. Come to think of it.
That's a pretty bad Christmas.
It was like at a time where you're
sucks.
trying to make someone happy and you're spending every last dollar, and all of a sudden you're out a window in the middle of winter.
Cop's home with his family drinking hot chocolate. She's got French fry, and you're out in the cold putting plastic on your window.
Totally, with frostbite on my hands.
Babe, that is so you though. Stuff like that happens to you.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what could go wrong always goes wrong with you.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Often. Not sometimes,
really?
often.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've got some stories for you where it's gone wrong for other people. So it might make you feel better.
Oh, nice segue. I like it. Let's
you like
do
that?
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so here's a story. I found these two stories in all places, Florida.
Well, then you shouldn't be surprised. Does it start with Florida Man?
Yeah.
Oh, does it start
Germany
with
or Florida?
What's Florida Man?
You've never heard of the term Florida Man?
You haven't heard of Florida Man?
Oh, the one that's like the guys that always do the crazy stuff.
The quintessential
Yeah.
Florida.
Oh yeah, these are Florida men. Yes, one
There
is
you go.
in West Palm and the other one was in Orlando. Both of them dressed up as Santas and were sex offenders.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they were soliciting themselves to be working like Santa parties.
Oh.
So one was on Facebook. He was 80 years old, saying he could do a Santa party for any company or private event. Cops find out he's a registered sex offender. The other guy in Orlando, that first one in West Palm, the 80-year-old was in West Palm. The other guy in Orlando was on Craigslist soliciting his Santa services. Come to find out he's a sex offender too. So, I guess you got to be really careful.
I mean, if
when
you're
you hire a Santa.
Hold on. If you on Craigslist looking for a Santa, you're going to get the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's so many fat people in America. You can't find someone in your family to just play Santa. You got to go to Craigslist.
I guess people do. Look,
my God.
he's on that platform because he knows he can get business. Clearly, people go there.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right, but I have a couple. Okay, so a couple of stories about about Christmases that have gone badly for many people. All right, here's one. Okay, this kind of is similar to yours, sort of. Oh, shucks.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Okay, this one happened in 2008. It's an older story, but man, it really. Okay, this guy named Bruce Prado, he got a Santa suit, got into his rental car, and drove to his ex-wife's family's house, so his in-laws in Covina, and
in California.
yeah, California. But he was not there to join the party as Santa. As NBC News reported, Pardo had been prepping for the massacre for months.
Oh, no. I don't like where this is headed.
Yeah. So when his wife's 8-year-old niece opened up the door, excited to see Santa walking up the driveway, he opened fire on her.
Oh, my God.
Then he continued to massacre Sylvia's entire family. Sylvia was his ex-wife, including her parents, her 2 brothers, their wives.
Oh, my God.
Her sister, and her 17-year-old nephew. Her sister got away. She managed to slip out the back door. And when she did, and she got called 911, her quote was, "I have a feeling I know who did this." She said to the 911 operator, "My sister is going through a divorce right now, so I think it's my brother-in-law." But his massacre didn't go entirely as planned. When the fuel from his spraying device unexpectedly ignited, he had one of those like guns that spray, I guess, like what?
A street sweeper.
Yeah. Okay, is that what they're called? Like whatever. So I guess there's like
In the hood, that's what they're called. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it ignited somehow when he was using it, and it burned him so badly that the Santa suit stuck to his skin.
Oh, my God.
Yo, this sounds like a horror movie, like origin story.
He fled.
This turned into a Blumhouse production all of a sudden.
He fled. Hold on. He fled.
Look at the joy you're getting out of this. Look at the glee on her face.
No. He fled the scene to his brother's house where he shot himself fatally. He killed himself, right? With the suit stuck to his skin. But it doesn't even stop there. So the police go to the brother's house to find him. And then they find 2 cars that were booby-trapped. And one of them was parked outside his ex-wife's divorce attorney's house.
Well, this really took a dark turn. Thank you for that, Denise.
I have a Christmas topic.
Oh, frig.
It's nothing bad. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
It is.
I say no.
Why do you say no?
It's like an assassin movie. It's like I mean,
It's like an assassin movie.
it's during the Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie.
It's an action movie.
I think like
It is
Miracle
during
on 34th
Christmas.
Street is a Christmas movie, not Die Hard.
Christmas does not begin, as the memes say. Christmas does not begin until you see Hans Gruber fall off in Nakatomi Plaza.
All right, so go ahead. Do you think Die Hard's a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Okay. See,
think
every
so.
guy does. Ask a girl. Every girl's gonna say no.
Do y'all have a favorite Christmas movie?
As a family, we do. Yeah, A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Mia has been a huge fan of it since she was a little girl. So we watch it every single year. And the one year where I preempted A Christmas Story with Die Hard, Mia was really, really upset. She was not feeling that Christmas at all.
No.
So then we immediately had to watch A Christmas Story afterward.
What about you?
Jingle All the Way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that's why I brought up that you got to fight Sinbad.
That's
story,
right.
'cause-
That's right.
Yeah, Jingle All the Way.
That's
I missed it. It went over my head at the time.
That's
but
my
yeah, I get
favorite
it.
Christmas movie.
If I had to pick one, it'd be Elf. Elf is so
Elf
good.
is cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm not really a Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah, a lot of people can take
Hit
or
or
leave
miss.
him, but
Yeah.
I like him.
Elf is good.
Yeah.
Elf is a good movie. I don't know if I have a favorite Christmas movie. I don't know.
Really?
Actually, Batman Returns.
Oh yeah, Batman Returns happens.
That's
during
my
Christmas.
favorite.
You
Second favorite
guys,
Christmas
okay,
movie.
that is just like, no, that is not a Christmas movie. Okay,
It's got
that just
Christmas
happened.
stuff in it.
That is, okay, the definition of a Christmas movie is like lighthearted Christmas, fun, Santa, or a joyous occasion happening, or, some sort of miracle.
Oh yeah, the what's the one with Bill Murray? Not Groundhog Day, but the one where he did the Christmas story.
Oh,
Scrooge?
yeah.
Scrooge?
That one is a really good
Scrooge.
one. I love that one.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of really a
I used
favorite
to
from when I was a
love-
kid. I got a lot of favorite movies when I was a kid, but not necessarily Christmas movies.
I used to love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
that clay animation was so amazing.
That's TV though.
I know, but that's all we had when we were growing up. We didn't have
That's
movies.
true. And if you missed it,
I mean, you
you
did have-
missed it.
Oh,
There was no recording Rudolph.
it is true. We did have Miracle on 34th Street, but I actually wasn't introduced to that until I was a little bit older. What's the one where he's running down the street and he's saying, "It's Christmas, everyone, it's Christmas"? What's that famous one?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Thank you. Yes.
yeah, that one.
I was not introduced to It's a Wonderful Life until I was like 19.
Oh yeah. Well, as
When
a
were you-
kid, As a kid, though, we had an aversion to that because we had color TV and all that stuff was in black and white.
Yeah,
Like,
I
a
was
lot of that stuff.
Never
was
interested in that.
Okay.
A lot of
How
black
you guys
stuff.
feel about like the modern type Christmas movies, Santa movies? So there's, have you seen The Fat Man?
No.
So
No.
Mel Gibson is Santa, but he's not like
Really?
It's an action movie where he gives coal to this rich snobby kid, and this kid hires a hitman to kill him.
Oh my god!
To kill Santa.
Oh, we should watch that this Christmas.
It's good. There's also another one called Violent Night. It's with
I've seen that
David
one.
Harborough.
I did not see that one.
And that's
Wait,
a
is
good
that one out this year? Oh, I'm thinking of Silent Night. That was a murder.
No,
like
but-
that was a slasher
What's
film.
Violent Night?
Violent Night.
I haven't seen
So
it.
David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Uh-huh.
He is Santa, and he's delivering gifts at a family's house who's getting robbed.
Oh,
And he fights the people who are
Did I
robbing
see
the
that
house.
one? Did I
we
see
saw
that
the
one?
trailer for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
we
did.
saw
Oh,
the trailer
okay.
for it.
Okay.
That does look good.
Is
Yeah.
it good?
That was.
I
Good.
like it. I like
Did
those
you see it?
different. Yes, I
Oh, you
like
did?
those different type of Christmas
Yeah.
movies. I even like the horror Christmas. Do you remember Jack Frost? Michael Keaton played the serial killer turned into a
Oh,
snowman.
I think I
Yeah.
saw that. Yes, I think I saw
Yeah,
that.
I like those type
Oh,
of
you like
movies
the
too.
dark? You
Oh,
like the
I have-
dark Christmas movies?
So if there's anything that you guys know about me, we've talked quite some time. I have a very morbid and
do.
crazy taste in movies.
You do.
My favorite movie of all time is Constantine. So you can kind of get my
Oh, okay.
Wow.
level of
Wow,
movies I like to watch. But yeah, I enjoy all those.
Ah,
Constantine is
that,
Constantine.
I've not heard that one before.
Yeah, that's if I'm correct. Isn't that with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a scary one. That's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie of all time.
Nice.
Wow.
Do you like the John Wick movies? Speaking of Keanu Reeves,
I love.
but that's
John
action.
Wick.
That's
I
pretty
love
badass.
John.
Scary.
Yeah, I
No,
love
we're
John
just
Wick.
asking,
movies,
we're
but
talking
yeah,
about movies.
yeah. But Constantine is just. I mean, like I said, I have a very morbid.
I have to
and-
I have to revisit
yeah.
Constantine. Maybe I'll do that this weekend.
Silent Night.
I like
Deadly
movies.
Night.
I like
That
movies
was
that
the-
have those type of themes. Like End of Days was one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
with,
yeah, End of Days.
with Arnold
Arnold.
Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
So like that, those type of movies that have
Yeah.
to do with like heaven and hell and death or aliens or War of the Worlds, one of my favorite ones. So like weird stuff that
That's a
could be
great
true.
one.
What about Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oh, we've
Your
seen
daughter's like that?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I don't know. If
Yeah,
the girls,
that's
have the girls seen it?
Tim.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, they love Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh
What
my
about-
god, we own it. We actually used to own it on DVD.
Christmas Vacation, National Lampoons.
I
Love
think
it.
I've seen it once. Well, okay, a couple more things about Santas.
Okay.
You did learn that Santa makes $22 an hour.
Yes.
15% of Santas from this one website called hiresanta.com died or retired in 2021. So they were on a shortage of Santa. So in 2021, if you had called because things were coming back from the pandemic,
Right.
people were getting together and you wanted to hire a Santa for your event, you're going to be hard pressed. They
A lot of Santas succumbed to Rona. Is
Yep.
that what happened?
Yeah,
Yep.
because they don't believe in vaccines.
yes.
They don't believe in vaccines, and they're overweight, and they have heart conditions. They have They have high blood pressure.
Yes. And so some of them
A lot of
also
pre-existings.
retired, but many of them perished from the pandemic.
Oh my God!
I know.
Wow.
So
All right.
Just think of
That could be my
Santa the other 11 months. He's at a biker bar in,
totally.
in the villages. So
Oh yeah,
he's,
totally in the, in the village. A second career for me. I could
Yeah.
be a Santa when they all run out.
they make $22 an hour. You'll do good.
Can you grow a beard?
Oh. Oh, yikes.
It's weird because when we were in Idaho, when Denise almost killed our friend's kid, I tried growing a beard out. I had it growing for like 3 weeks. And I'm the type of guy, I'm not the type of guy, I am one of those guys that started getting like peach fuzz at age 10. And my dad would always be like, don't be in a rush to shave because you're going to have to do it the rest of your life. And I always had like growth on my face. Like when I worked at Burger King, had to, shave it off or whatever, that I'd get written up. And I was shocked to find that I did not grow like the full blown beard like I thought I was going to grow.
I can't either.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
But you have a beard
You
now.
do.
You know how long this took me to get?
How long did it take
This
you?
is couple months, man.
Oh.
Just to get this. And like I always grow like the neck pubes. So like it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all.
You have to
You
shave
need your
this.
manscaper.
I
Yeah.
never.
But black guys get really bad razor bumps. So it's
They
like
do.
you can't do it as
Yeah.
often as you want because then they
'Cause
turn into like
the-
keloids.
the
or-
hair turns under, yeah.
It's
Ooh.
awful.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
if you guys ever get a laser sponsor, hair removal.
Do they have a
I'm
black?
perfect.
Do they have
Okay.
Do they have a beard relaxer for black men where it's just like you get that good hair?
Yeah, it's cocoa butter.
Cocoa butter?
Cocoa butter works. I have it at the house with beard oils and all that stuff.
Have you ever tried getting your neck waxed?
Oh my god,
That'd be a great
What? That sounds
experience.
horrible.
but
We get our
no.
face waxed. We get our legs
Who
waxed.
gets
We
your
get our
face waxed?
bikinis waxed. Women, you can do your neck. Don't be a baby. You can totally do
I'm
your
saying,
neck.
I want to get it laser removed.
I know, but if you do a little wax right here, you might not get the bumps and the keloid right there. You should try it one day.
All right, I'll try it. I
You
promise. I'm all for experiences, and we can film it. It'd be like the movie. What movie was that? 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That
yes.
was great.
That was an awesome movie. Oh my
Kelly
god.
Clarkson.
When he's getting waxed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
How do you
doesn't
recite
curse.
these? I don't even know how you remember these lines. You're so good.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
So I think all these stories will bring everyone together and make a really good Christmas. What do you think?
I think half of our listener base tuned out 20
Do
or
y'all have
30
any
minutes
Christmas
ago.
traditions at your house that you guys do every year?
We do the Christmas breakfast. The gifts are always on Christmas morning. We don't do Christmas Eve.
Well,
We
yeah,
do-
you're not Puerto Rican, so
Yeah, no, you know, a lot of Catholics, though, well, Puerto Ricans are Catholic, but a lot of white people do Christmas Eve too, and they exchange gifts. I don't know. It's just never been our thing. We do the Christmas story. That's our tradition. I would say at Christmas dinner, we have the same Christmas dinner every year.
We do.
I make a roast with
Yeah.
potatoes and
It's my death row meal. It's
Oh.
it's pretty badass what Denise makes. It's a roast fillet
yeah.
with this creamy gorgonzola sauce.
Ooh.
It's just, bring your Lipitor and scalloped potatoes with cheese. They're not scalloped, they're like au gratin potatoes.
Yeah, they're so good. Yeah. They're,
my
yeah.
God.
And
And
then
then-
roasted Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And now, that's usually like the same meal all the time. The sauce alone takes 45 minutes to stir, so it takes forever. But
It's awesome.
So that's our tradition. What about you?
I just recently I was always working, so I never was home for
On Christmas Day, you
so,
worked?
Yeah, the hospitals don't stop.
Oh, that's true.
You know?
Wow.
And so up until 21, I was always working.
Was
So,
your wife at home
Yeah.
with your son, and then you would be the one working? Did you guys ever alternate? Like she worked, and then you were home with your son?
When he was first born, she was still working,
Okay.
and then I was like, nah.
Okay.
You don't need to work. So
Aw.
I'll just work 8 jobs.
And now you're down to just a couple.
Just a couple. Yeah.
That sounds like us, except
Oh, yeah, for
except
sure.
Denise at one point was like, "No, you're not the only one getting out of the house anymore." Like,
Yeah, because he's always notorious for working 2 or 3 jobs. He just has always worked 2 or 3 jobs. So yeah, after a while, I was like, "Oh no, I know your game now. I know your game.
you're just trying to avoid us.
I think it's something to do with us media people. I think we all have
Definitely.
some form of ADD to where we have to be constantly doing something.
Yeah,
And so that's why we have to have multiple jobs, because we feel
Yeah.
like we're not doing anything.
I think that makes sense. That actually, I always say he can't relax, even if he's.
I can't.
Like-
I have to live in chaos.
Plus, I think I don't like you could probably relate to this for at least some of your jobs where you weren't a staffer, where you were working freelance. It's like we make our money in chunks, and when you see another chunk, you're like, "Yeah, let me grab that," and it's always.
But it never stops.
It will not stop
And
unless
Phil, you're a business owner, so
Unless it's
that pertains to you because you
Yeah.
see it coming, and it's got to be hard to say no. I just think it's so hard to say no to money, and even on the holidays and everything else.
yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Being an entrepreneur is really weird. And I don't even call myself an entrepreneur. I call myself a solopreneur. Because
You're doing everything.
yeah, if you're an entrepreneur, you can stay at home and other people make you money. But like the thing that shocked
way.
me is just that one week I'll make 3,000, the next month I won't make anything. You know what I'm saying? So that
Yeah.
that was something that you had to
It's always feast or famine.
and that is
Frightening.
yeah,
It's frightening.
Yeah.
yeah. So you have to prepare yourself for Christmas because like okay, let me allocate certain funds, and that's why I told you the first Christmas I started Podcast Doctor was in 2019. And so actually, I started Podcast Doctor in August of 2019. So right when I left the station. So Christmas, was 4 months away. I didn't spend a single dollar that I made on Podcast Doctor on anything else. I saved all of it.
Yeah.
Because you just didn't know. Like,
Because
am I
I-
going to book anything next month? Am I
Well,
going to?
and I also still had 2 full-time jobs.
Oh,
So,
so you had a good Christmas, Phil.
that's what I'm saying. I spent, and my wife didn't. She had no idea.
They were putting it all aside.
Yeah, I put it outside, and then I was like, you know that Will Smith meme where he's standing next to Jada, and he's like, I was like, the tree.
Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
Yeah, and so that was really fun. But yeah, being an entrepreneur it's scary, but it's rewarding.
All right. Well,
I think that wraps up our Christmas episode.
yeah, we got to get out of here because I noticed my profile and I look like Jim Harbaugh with these glasses on.
Do you?
Yeah.
Don't cheat and you'll be fine.
Don't cheat and you'll be fine, and you won't get your house burned down on Christmas. That's for sure.
Don't cheat in more than one way. I'm talking about football. You're talking about relationship.
I think
It all matters.
It all matters.
Uh-huh.
It translates. It
Agreed.
transcends. So anyway, all right. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry
Yes,
Christmas,
Merry
Phil.
Christmas,
Merry
Phil.
Christmas.
All right. Let's take them out.
Empty nest, full tank.
Have a great holiday, everyone.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.